Hey guys, I'm Carly and this is my channel, The Planted Carly Flower. I thank you so much for being here and for watching my content today. Today I'm going to talk about, is the plant community really welcoming? Is it not welcoming? Is it a little bit of both? We're going to get into that today in a little bit and we'll talk, and I hope we'll have some great discussion in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and definitely subscribe. I appreciate everything you guys do to help me grow my channel. So let's go ahead and get into it. We'll talk a little bit about the plant community today. Okay guys, so I'm fairly new to the plant community as a whole. I've been collecting plants for a number of years, but I never really realized there was actual community involved. I never really thought collecting plants was a thing that anybody else did. I thought people just either had plants or they didn't. And so let's talk a little bit about what I felt and what I experienced joining the plant community as an active collector already. So, I found the plant community because I had some questions about some plants that I had, particularly relating to fungus gnats. I wanted to see if I could figure out a way to get rid of them, and I already watched various other things on YouTube that were informational, so I thought that would be a good place to start, to check out YouTube and to see if there was any information on fungus gnats in indoor houseplants that I could look at and possibly treat my plants to get rid of the fungus gnats, because I was a little clueless about that side of plant collecting. I could keep my plants alive, but I didn't really know about pests and things like that yet. So I went on YouTube, as one does, looking for information, and discovered that there were plant tubers and all kinds of interesting information and people that collected houseplants and made videos about it. It was amazing and it was life-changing, obviously. So that led me to Instagram, where I started making my plant Instagram, and it was just a whole wild ride that I've been on for the past year, getting to know everything, a little less than a year, getting to know everybody, getting to know the ins and outs of the plant community, because in every little community of collectors or gatherers or gamers or whatever, there is a culture and there is a little independent society that you have to learn how to navigate. What is acceptable in this group of people, what is not acceptable. So when I join a new community, a new page, a new chat, whatever, I tend to kind of just lurk around for a little bit and get to know my climate, get to know what it's like, get to know the people in it and what is expected of somebody, and it's just in my opinion a good way to start off on a good foot. So I kind of watched some videos, got a hint of what people were like, and I did discover some things that I thought were super welcoming that made me want to stay, and I did discover a few things that made me a little sad and a little leery about getting to know people and reaching out to people, because I was afraid I might be doing that in the wrong way. So let me explain that a little bit. I have my little notes down here so I can make sure and hit everything I want to hit. I was welcomed by a lot of people. Like, I really was. I was brought into a lot of circles quickly. I was given information. I was given tips and tricks. People were really, really welcoming and really, really, what's the word I'm looking for? Eager to share their wealth of information on plants and on their collections, and I really, really loved that, and I still love that about the plant community. I can go on pretty much anybody's Instagram and say, hey, what's the care tips for this? What's the care like for this plant? And they will tell you everything. They'll tell you what window they have it sitting in and how often they water it and where they live, like in that area, so you can tell if you have a similar or a different climate. And I love that about the plant community. And that way it is actually extremely welcoming. I love that the plant community is so trusting that most people will willingly trade with you. And I mean, they still protect themselves, as one should, use PayPal or whatever. But I really enjoyed the camaraderie, and I enjoyed the welcoming atmosphere in that aspect. The longer I stayed, in particular on YouTube, or not YouTube, in particular on Instagram, the more I did see little spurts of unwelcoming behavior. Nothing massive or drastic, but when I first got on Instagram, there was a ton of giveaways. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, look at all these giveaways of plants. Well, how generous of these companies or these people to just, hey, subscribe to my Instagram or my YouTube or whatever, and tag some friends, and I'll enter you in a giveaway for an amazing plant. So as a new plant collecting hobbyist that I realized I had wandered into, I was like, oh, I really definitely want to grow my collection. Some of these people have the coolest plants. So I started entering giveaways, and I would just tag people that would pop up when I would hit the @ symbol, thinking, well, I mean, it doesn't hurt them in any way. They get to find out about the giveaway, and they can either ignore it or they can join. It's one little tag. And then I started seeing people in comments, not necessarily people I had tagged, but just in stories and things. The more people I followed, the more stories I watched on Instagram, the more I was like, if you're a new plant tuber, don't do these things. Don't tag me. Don't ask me care tips. I'm not Google. And I was like, oh my God, have I made a serious misstep here? Am I offending people by tagging them in giveaways they don't want to be tagged in? Am I offending people by asking them what their care is like for this plant, what they do to keep their plants alive? Like, I was worried, like genuinely like concerned. I was upsetting people, because I never want to upset anybody. I never want to be a burden on people. I always just want to be a friend and get to know people, and the plants are just a bonus. I felt like I had found a community of people that would understand me and were really accepting. I had noticed that the majority of people in the plant community were accepting of mental health issues and disabilities, and that seemed to be a rising theme throughout the community. So I felt really comfortable and felt like I had a great group of people around me, and I still do. That didn't change. I still do feel that way, but I did feel like I maybe had made some little faux pas by doing some of these things that people were putting in their stories that new plant tubers shouldn't do, or new plant, not YouTubers, but new plant collectors shouldn't do. And I just felt horrible. I have had plants prior to finding the plant community, so I've gone through numerous winters with plants and have dealt with declining plants throughout the winter. I had made a little highlight about winter care tips, and then I saw a story about somebody saying, if you're a new plant person to a big collection, don't share care tips, you've never been through a winter. And I was like, well, I'm new to Instagram. Are people gonna think I'm new to winter because I'm new to Instagram and they think I just started a collection? Am I going to upset people by posting my winter care tips, even though I have been through several winters, just not on Instagram? I was really starting to worry that I had upset people, or I was going to upset people. So I stopped asking people for care tips. I stopped doing giveaways. I stopped tagging people. I felt like I was definitely making some sort of like a click no by doing those things. So overall, I did experience a lot of welcoming, but I did feel a little pushed back from those kinds of stories. Not necessarily the people that put them, because to this day I don't even remember who actually posted these things. I just remember that the things were posted and how they made me feel, and they made me feel like I might be doing something bad. The more I thought about it though, the more I was like, you know what, even if I was a new plant collector and I was new to houseplants, I would still have valuable information to give to the community. If you've been a plant collector for 10 years, you might not accurately or freshly remember what it's like to be experiencing some of these new plant parent problems. I might have something to give to that, because I am expanding my collection to newer plants. Maybe I might have some valuable information as a new person to Hoyas, or a new person to Anthuriums, or a new person to Alocasias, that you who've been collecting those plants for 8 years might not have experienced anymore. So I really try not to make new people to the collecting of plants feel like they don't have anything of value or don't have anything of interest to talk about. I always try to be welcoming when people post me in giveaways. I always try and like their comment so that they know. I don't care if you post me in giveaways. I may not enter the giveaway, but I appreciate the hustle. Like, go after your free plant, girl or dude. Do it. Get your free plant. I will support you and I will cheer for you when you win. Like, tag me. I don't care. But there was some things in the overwhelmingly welcoming part of the plant community that also made me feel like I might have done something wrong, and it gave me a lot of anxiety. Like, it really gave me anxiety. I started questioning every person I'd ever tagged in any giveaway. I started wondering if the tips I was posting were going to be well received, because to look at my Instagram, I'm brand new to this and I have no idea what I'm doing. So I definitely saw a few things that made me kind of second guess myself. And I'm an overthinker and I have a lot of anxiety, so I seriously stopped posting for several weeks because I was just maybe this isn't a good idea. Maybe a Plantstagram is not for me. And eventually I did get over it and realized I was being a little crazy, that those weren't posted about me necessarily. And even if they feel that way, not everybody does. So I definitely got over it, but there were some little sprinkles of unwelcoming behavior that I noticed as a new person to the community in general. So just something to think about when you're posting stories or whatever. You never know who's gonna see those, and you never know how it's gonna make them feel. Try to be as welcoming as possible. Try not to shame people for doing things that is totally normal and natural to want to do. It's totally natural to want to enter a giveaway. And if you're new to the community, you may not have established relationships with people yet where you can know that they're okay with you tagging them. So maybe be a little generous and courteous in that regard. It's something to think about. To sum up, overall, I do think the plant community is one of the most welcoming communities I have ever had the blessing and the absolute joy of being a part of. I've been a part of many communities. I crochet, I do a lot of gaming, I read a lot, so I've been parts of book groups, and this is by far and away the most welcoming community I've ever been a part of. I thank everyone who has ever given me any information, given me any sounding board to talk to people, just encouraged me in my YouTube, and just generally been a friend to me. Like, I appreciate every single one of you. You all know who you are, and I hope you're watching. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to me thus far. I will always do my best to make you feel welcome and wanted here, because you are. You're absolutely welcome and wanted on my channel. I want to hear all your care tips. I want to hear all your stories. I want to hear everything you have to say in the comments, and I will always do my best to respond to as many of you as I can, whether I have 90 subscribers or 9,000. I don't even know if I'll ever get there, but if I do, I will do my best to answer all of you, as well as on Instagram. Tag me in all those giveaways. Give me all your care tips. Maybe it's something that I haven't tried before. I definitely want all of that information, and I definitely, most of all, want friendships with all of you. I have found some of my very best friends through this community, and a shared interest is definitely a great place to start a friendship. So that's all I have for today. Please leave any comments or concerns or anything in the comments. Definitely hit like and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of my great content. I have a lot of really great stuff coming up, and I really appreciate all of you, and I hope you get to spend some great time today with your plants. Thank you, and have so much fun today, and have a good weekend.